Hi, it's Charles again with an entry for the 22nd of April, um, 2014. It was a Tuesday. Basically, in this entry, I'm going to talk about something that I've noticed from personal experience and I don't like it much. Basically, it's when you work up a job like retail, or when you work in a job area like retail, you notice that people lord training over you. It's like, it's either A, they lord training over you to just to keep you in a position, kind of like a benefit, like, oh, and in 6 months we'll train you in that area and you'll become, you'll become a better employee, maybe you'll get fucking a better position or a better raise, but only if you can fucking hang in it in 6 months. Um, yeah. So basically that's pretty much that. Or B, they just, oh, you're not good enough, you don't have that training. So I mean, there's not really an A or B about it, actually. It's just pretty much they keep their foot on you because they hold the training over your head. Like, if you're a good little boy, you'll get that training, and it makes you feel like a little monkey just trying to grab like the banana, and you can't reach it. And it fucking makes me angry. Um, it's just fucking stupid. Well, I mean, it's obviously not stupid because a lot of these people that do it, they want to keep their heel on you. They want to keep their boot on your shoulder, so that they can, step on you. But I worked for a, obviously I've worked for Walgreens for many years now, and the first day I worked at Walgreens, the first or second day, they were just like, all right, we're going to show you how to do everything a stock clerk does. And then within the first month, I was doing everything, that I could at my current position. I was, no, I switched to the photo lab, and then, they saw that I was pretty good, so that they showed me, you know, the head photo specialist was leaving, so they asked me if I wanted the position, so I took it. And then they started to just like, everybody showed me what, it entailed to work at the store. So, I mean, I learned pretty much, everything I could, and I've fucking done my best to learn everything I could. But then, so at one point though, I decided to try and get a second job, and I got one. It was at an overnight stocking crew on a major retailer, and I signed up, and they saw that I was pretty good at it. So I didn't work there that long, but they were like, oh, they were impressed. They were talking to me like, oh, you know what you're doing? Yeah, you're pretty good, yada yada. And then some of the managers were talking about, like, in 6 months maybe we'll show you this, in 8 months we'll show you that, and fucking I was like, why not show me now? Like, if you know that I can fucking do it, like, you tell me that I can do the actual work, why do I have to wait the 6 months before I fucking get it? Like, why are you trying to like use this training as an incentive to fucking, to get me? I guess they were using it as an incentive to get me to stay around. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, maybe, I don't know. This is I I probably should have thought of this more, but I don't exactly know the motivations behind it, which is why I struggled also at the beginning. But to me, it feels like, they used it as an incentive to get me to stick around and to not be as good of an employee as I could. I mean, some managers do this because they're scared of losing their own position, or they're scared of somebody else being as good as them and then getting promoted over them. I've dealt with managers like that. I've dealt with people who only show you the bare necessities so that when it comes to like really getting the credit or really cashing in, they're the only ones that know. They're the only one that knows how to do it. I mean, that I disagree with, but I understand it. I mean, unfortunately, when you work retail, it's kind of like no matter what position you are in the store, unless you're like the store manager or something that requires like actual, like schooling, like maybe a pharmacist or something like that, or, like a pharmacy tech. But even pharmacy techs are kind of like low positions. but there's a lot of competition, obviously. Like fucking, it's not that hard to go from store service clerk to assistant manager, all in the course of a couple of months, depending upon your schooling. Like if you're fucking a service clerk, and then they find out that you went to college, they might decide to promote you over, 2 or 3 shift leads to straight to assistant manager just because you went to college. But I mean, people feel like if they fucking have that little bit, if those shift leads have a little bit more knowledge than that service clerk, then maybe he won't get promoted over them as easily, or maybe fucking they'll get promoted while he gets promoted as well. So I mean, I understand that incentive. I don't like it, but I mean, I understand it, especially in this economy and this fucking competitive job market. In retail, obviously, you don't go to school for retail. Well, of course, there's business school, there's managerial school, so you could do that shit. But in terms of like working at a drugstore or working at fucking, a department store or some shit like that, you don't really go to school for it. So, having that extra knowledge or that extra training is kind of like it's something that it sets you apart from the other people in your store. So maybe you get that promotion. Fucking the training that I wanted or that was being lorded over me was kind of like, it was training on I'm not exactly sure what they're called. It's not a forklift because it's not like the car. It's not the full unit, but it's like the little halfway, kind of like a Segway but bigger, and then it has the lift thing that could go up to lift pallets and stuff like that and to take them down off of high shelves. And they were telling me that in like fucking 6 months to a year they would show me that, and then fucking in like 3 months they would show me how to organize stuff in the back room. And unfortunately I didn't like that, so I left. So I worked there for very quickly. I only worked there for like a week. But yeah, I mean, I think it was also partially due to the fact that I had been working at Walgreens for so long. And at Walgreens, I was doing the backroom stuff. I was organizing the shit. I was stocking the shelves. I was ringing up customers. I was fucking doing this. I was doing that. We don't have a pallet jack or anything at work or at the Walgreens, so I didn't know about that shit. But I mean, that couldn't have, I saw how it operated. There's a go and there's an up and a down and there's like an on switch. So I mean, it couldn't have taken me that long to actually get the hang of it. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but fucking when it has like, when shit has like 3 buttons, it's like, it doesn't seem that difficult. It's like when when you were a kid and you were playing fucking Nintendo, and some kid's like, yo, how do you do this? And it's like, yo, dude, there's fucking 2 buttons in the direction pad. It's like, figure that shit out. It's like there's fucking 2 different things it could be. If it's not one, it's the fucking other. And then, so it was just like that, and fucking, I didn't, approve of it being lorded over me. I got bored within the first 2 days of what I was doing. I couldn't fathom standing another fucking 4 or 5 months, just doing the same shit that I had already I felt like I already gone beyond at my other job that they knew about, that I fucking told them about during the hiring process. And I worked with fucking a couple of the dudes that legitimately hired me. So they knew that I had already done it, but they were just fucking still holding it over me. I mean, maybe they didn't want to, fucking give it to me immediately because they didn't know if I was sticking around, which were obviously fucking, they were right, because I didn't stick around. But it felt like something that they were using as an incentive just to get me to maintain like my current position and to fucking, just fucking slough through the trenches in order to actually get the training. I mean, I feel like when a new, I'm not obviously not really high in my store, but I am a supervisor of sorts. I'm a shift lead, if you must know. So, I'm not on the lowest level, so there are shifts that I actually have to cover, you know, where I'm the manager in the store, though technically I'm not a manager, but I'm fucking a shift lead. So of course I get, you know, regular service clerks, regular photo people, regular beauty advisors. And as soon as they start, as soon as, you know, I know that they're going to be there more than like 2 days, I'm like, all right, dude, let me fucking show you everything I know. So obviously there are some things that they can't do due to the fact that, you know, they're not, you know, in a supervisor position. But I mean, as much as the store, as much as they can learn about the way the store runs, I figure why not? You know, I try and cross train them in multiple positions so that maybe fucking if we don't have a, you know, if we don't have a photo tech and I get called away, maybe the beauty advisor can run and go help someone with photo, or maybe fucking the service clerk can step up and bang out some photo orders, or something like that. I mean, to me, it's all about, you know, it's all about kind of like creating a cohesive unit, like something that can get the job, a unit that can get the job done. I guess when some of the place that I only worked for a week was a major department store. I guess I could fucking talk about it. It was Target. I'm not that big, and I doubt I'll ever become big. So it was fucking Target. So so Target is obviously it's a huge store. Every store is big. So they obviously have a shitload of employees. So fucking one employee calls out or something, they just fucking it's just like, all right, dude, we still got like 30 others, so fucking we'll make do. But when you know, a shift or an employee at a Walgreens calls out, you only got like max, depending upon how big you are, maybe like 4 in the front and maybe a couple in the pharmacy. Again, depending upon how big you are. So when somebody fucking calls out, it's a big deal. So I always, you know, I always train my people like it's just me and them gonna, or like it's going to just be me and or them and I on a fucking shift. So I want somebody who can do photo. I want somebody who can ring up. I want somebody who knows about cosmetics, just the same as I would. I mean, obviously there are managerial things, or supervisor things, I should say, that I have to do that they won't do. But I want to be able to just like, yo, I'm fucking stuck over here. Can you, you know, do X, Y, and Z? You know, because that way I feel like, you know, we're one unit. We're working towards the, you know, the running the store. We're working towards the betterment of the store. You know, if I hold them back and I only teach them how to run the register just because they're a fucking service clerk, then, you know, if people call out and I get called away, I got fucking 4 people waiting at photo while I'm just fucking, I'm over here maybe trying to run cosmetics, photo, doing all this other shit, and all they're doing is standing to register because that's all they fucking know. So, I mean, I guess in a sense, because we're staffed by so, like, we don't have as many people as the fucking Target, then, you know, everybody has to be cross-trained and everybody has to, it's smarter for everybody to know everything. Like, when you work at Target, there are people that, you know, unload the truck, there are people that fucking make this, mark down the sales, there are people that make the displays, there are people that fucking, you know, price the items, you know, there are people that fucking clean the store, there are people that fucking face the items, there are people that fucking come in and wash the floor. So there's somebody that does fucking everything. So, you know, not to mention the fact that there's a shitload more stuff. You know, so I might get, or at Walgreens, we might get a truck every week, whereas at Target, you might get one every night. So, you know, they do need the dedicated people because there's so much more, you know, store space. There's so many more items. So obviously, you know, I could do all of our sale markdowns in one night and then fucking move on and maybe, you know, fucking, you know, clean the floors or face the items and then fucking, you know, maybe help unload a truck. I can do all that because we don't get as much in, we don't have as big of a store, yada yada. Whereas fucking in Target, you get, you know, a shitload more, so maybe, you know, unloading the truck and, you know, putting up a few items takes a whole shift. So they do need those dedicated people. So I do understand that, but fucking, I didn't like the fact that I was, you know, training was being held over my head. And, you know, maybe it's the fact that I'm constantly questing to learn. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, toot my own horn. Oh, always curious, fucking super smart guy, you know, always trying to learn. You know, because I hate school. Otherwise, I'd be back in that bitch trying to get some kind of a graduate degree. So I'm not tooting my own horn in that way. But I mean, I'm curious about how things are done. You know, I'm curious about my professional life. So, I mean, if there's something at Walgreens that I don't know, I do my best to learn it. Like, I don't know much about the pharmacy, and unfortunately, you know, I know about as much as the pharmacist can actually show me without me, you know, fucking going to school or me, you know, fucking up some people's medication, you know, prescriptions and shit like that. So, I mean, as much as I know about running the store, or as much as I can know about running that store, I think I know. Whereas with Target, you know, if I had gone in and said, hey, how do you do this? You know, which I had done, and that's why they started to, you know, hold back on the training, or they started to, you know, think about the training, because I was like, they saw that I was doing well, and I was like, yeah, I've done this before, I know how to do it, and fucking, you know, they saw me actually finishing up and just like fucking sitting there and just like, oh, okay. And so it was like, I just wish that they had, you know, fucking, you seem pretty good at this. Like, hey, you know, come here, I'll show you something a little bit extra, or fucking maybe, you know, why don't you go on to this if you got a little bit of extra time? But it was just like, it was like, no, we're gonna keep you fucking just doing what you're doing, even if you have, you know, extra energy or extra time just to sit there, because we don't want to show you this. You know, we're gonna make you wait this time. And it blew because, you know, I was trying to legit stifle my curiosity. You know, if it, I mean, obviously, if it had been my only job, you know, I probably would have held on because I would have just fucking, you know, if I needed the money, then it would have been, you know, I probably would have just stomached it. But obviously, in my head, I just like fucking, I'd go to lunch every time I came in there and just fucking, you know, if I was forced to stifle my curiosity, I'd probably just do the bare minimum, just fucking slough through the aisles, you know, just take my time with the shit. You know, I wouldn't be thinking about what I was doing, and I'd fucking just be daydreaming and wandering around. I mean, obviously, you know, fucking, I'm not trying to, you know, be spiteful and say that, you know, I'm better than the place or something like that. I mean, there are a lot of good people who do that shit. I mean, there are a lot of fucking smarter people than me who do that shit. I mean, there are a lot of fucking smarter people who are service clerks who are not shift leads, even in my store, that are smarter than me. So it's just a fucking, what you do in life has no bearing on what you're capable of. That's what I believe. I mean, obviously there are some people who dig ditches, and then you talk to them, and then all they fucking know is like digging holes and fucking slamming brewskis down, and you're like, all right, this dude is at his proper place in life. You know, this dude in holes, they're a match made in heaven. You know, they mesh. But then there are people like fucking, you know, there's that quote that, oh, Albert Einstein was a fucking clerk in a patent office or something like that. And fucking, I mean, obviously, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, I feel like I'm smarter than, you know, fucking retail it requires, or the position that I'm at requires. So maybe it's just that I'm, you know, bitter, and I'm just fucking, you know, I'm better than this. I went to college or some shit like that. Although college is fucking, nowadays college, it's just you have the money, you fucking throw it down, you get the college degree. There's no I mean, if you go to like fucking Harvard or an Ivy League school, it's probably way fucking different than, you know, like the fucking degree manufacturing colleges that I went to. But yeah, I mean, if you have the money now, you can fucking go to a college. I'm not sure about which college you could get into, but you could get a college degree of sorts. Um, but yeah, I mean, maybe that's part of it. Maybe I'm just bitter, but I don't, you know, I want to know shit. I want to fucking, I want, I don't want to have to wait. I'm not a very patient person, so I don't want to have to fucking, wait for the training. I want fucking, I want to be, you know, somebody, I want to be in part of the unit so that we know what we're doing and so that, we can kind of go on our own. I don't want to be fucking tied down to some manager who has to, lead me by, the hand and showing, all right, now you're gonna do this. You fucking put this over there. You put that over here, which is what Target really felt like. You know, at Walgreens, it feels more like, all right, fucking dude, all right, this is what we gotta do tonight. Go to it. This is what we gotta do. Go to it. But fucking at Target, it was like, all right, now we're gonna unload these boxes. Oh, hold on. Pick them up one at a time. One at a time. Put them on the cart. Whoa now. Turn that around. Put that so that label faces out. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh, get that second box. Whoa. Slow it down there. Slow it down. All right, put that on the second shelf of the cart. All right. Now you see that box over there? You go put that on the cart too. Oh, you can put it on that other one right over there. And it's just like, fucking, please, dude. I'm over there picking up the 3 boxes at once, thinking I'm just going to dump them on the cart. And they're just like, yo, slow it down. I was legit told to slow it down. Fucking other employees. Like, I'm not sure if that was just fucking like, like, yo, dude, shh, we're not trying to work that hard. Like, keep that on the low. Don't be doing that shit. Or if that was legit, like somebody trying to fucking like show me the ropes and fucking like, like actually tell me how it's supposed to be done. But I think in that instance it was more like, yo, dude, calm it down. We ain't trying to work that hard. But so that I'll let slide because that was actually kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, dude, fucking. These entry level positions suck because fucking everybody training is such a I want to consider myself good enough that I'm ready for anything, that fucking you can just like, yo, this is how the store works, if I'm ever not here, this is what you got to do. I don't want somebody I don't want to have to like fucking, dude calls out sick and I'm on the telephone, where's this, how do you do that? Fucking, I can't find this, the computer's not working. I don't like that shit. Every time fucking something breaks in the store and we have to call in a specialist for it, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, fucking, how do I do that? Can I do that? Fucking, like, what tools do you need? I try and get, like, the blow-by-blow from them. Like, I've legit watched plumbers, like, fix pipes and shit just so I could fucking try and do that shit myself next time so we don't have to fucking call somebody in. Because every time we have to call a specialist in, it obviously costs the store money, which doesn't really affect me. I mean, fucking obviously it doesn't look good if we're blowing up the plumber like every fucking, 2 days. But I mean, it's not out of my pocket. So if it's required, if the toilet breaks, the fucking toilet breaks. But if all he does is tighten 2 screws, then I'm gonna be like, dude, we waited for this company to call somebody out, and then we waited for you to get back to us, and then we waited for you to actually roll in. So it takes, like, depending upon the problem, it probably takes at least, like, 2 days. So it's like, dude, we waited 2 days, no bathroom, for you to fucking tighten 2 screws. That's obviously fucking an over-exaggeration, but it's just like, if I can do it, then maybe fucking as soon as that shit happens, I, fix it. Or I do something that can, maybe not fix it, but maybe keeps the toilet operational so that we're not down a toilet for fucking 2 days. Maybe, the toilet only gets, light use or something like that. But, it's fucking, I want to be able to, fully understand how things work. And when I go to Walgreens every day, I feel like people understand that. I feel like, we want that cohesive team, we want that cohesive unit. And when I went to Target, I felt like we were all fucking just numbers, and we were all, people were holding us down and holding us back just to keep us in a specific role, just to keep us, maybe they felt like if I knew more, I'd get fucking, they'd have to pay me more or something like that. Or maybe they felt like if I knew more, I'd fucking, try and get a promotion and maybe I'd try and one up them or something. But I mean, it's just, you know, it's shitty. I do my best, obviously, like I said, to cross train all my employees to show them everything I know. Even some of them freak out and they're just like, no, bro, I don't want to know all that shit. Because then people are going to fucking expect more of me and I don't want to do that. And those people, they let me down, but it's just like, all right, dude, you told me, and fucking I don't agree with, and you're obviously not going to be fucking a big help to me, if I ever need you in a pinch, but fucking at least you, told me, and at least you were fucking, honest with it. But, people, the best employees are those that, you can count on from day, we'll say day 3, because I obviously don't show them fucking everything day 1, because, they're still they're getting their retail legs going. But I mean, the people that, like, I would take one of those Walgreens people over 2 of those Target people any day. Maybe even 3 of them, because those Target people, while they were, maybe they might be obviously better, lifting up boxes because there are more bodies. There's just there was a fucking sense of cluelessness that when something arose that they didn't fully understand. It was a sense of like fucking, it was like a CIA project where only top brass knew about the actual mission. And so fucking, you do something, and somebody be like, dude, you fucked that up. And you're like, what? I just put the fucking boxes out. And they'd be like, dude, you need no information. You weren't supposed to do that. And I'm like, nobody fucking told me that. And then they were like, that's because it's need to know. And it's just like, well, fucking, how am I supposed to know it if you fucking don't tell me it? Because it's need to know. And it felt like that. It felt like fucking, I was being kept in the dark. And fucking, that got me, it was the stone that just pushed me over, and forced me just like, look, people, this isn't working out for me, fucking, I told them straight up, I was like, I like unloading the truck, but all the other shit is just fucking, I've already done it before, and fucking, I'm not gonna, it bores me now just to do fucking the extreme basics of what I've been doing for, 7, 8 years already. And so I'm not gonna fucking hang around. And they were just like, all right, fucking, they had seen people go and they were like, we know this is not for everybody. But in their eyes, it was more because it was overnight shift, so they just chalk it up to, oh, he didn't want to do overnights. Whereas, I could have done overnights if it was fucking, if the shit could keep me awake. But, they made it so that it couldn't keep me awake. And I mean, I understand that this is fucking, it's kind of gone off tangent on a little bit, but fucking, dude, if you're ever in a situation, like, I remember I was talking with somebody at, it was actually at a PAX convention. It wasn't this PAX convention, it was the year before. But I was talking with somebody, and the dude was like, he had like a real, office job. I think he was pretty high up in his company, and he was like, I have, trouble delegating to my employees because I want to do it all. And then he was like, but I'm starting to realize now that fucking, I train them, hard, and so that when they do it, it might not be as good as me, but it's still satisfactory. Because, yeah, I mean, he was like, you start to realize that you can't do it all. And so fucking, like, my store manager, he obviously can't run the store by himself day after day. I mean, there have obviously been some shifts where it's just like fucking him banging on a register or something like that. Or maybe he's covering a break or something, but he can't. There needs to be more than one person running a store. So he has to make sure that his people, can do the job. And obviously maybe he feels like he can do it better. He's like, oh, I could bring those people up fucking faster. But he had, like, there's a sense of fucking letting go, And all he can do is, offer them the best training that he can, which, he does. But then it's up to them to fucking get better at it or to get worse. And if they fucking, to get better at it, or not to get better at it, I should say. But and then fucking, then maybe they'll get promoted or something. But I mean, like I said, it's difficult in retail because it's promotions are so fucking cutthroat though. I mean, it doesn't feel like if you work in like a kitchen or something, they obviously it's like a hierarchy, fucking, like maybe, assistant chef goes to like fucking head chef. No, like assistant dessert chef goes to fucking head dessert chef, and then maybe like assistant kitchen manager or something, and then maybe fucking like head kitchen manager or something like that. Whereas in retail, everything can be fucking. It's not that, I'm not going to say it's not that difficult, because when you really dive into it, it does get kind of difficult. But there's not much that you actually have to like learn. You can learn it all at once. It's actually doing the work. Like, I mean, to be honest, what I know about the store and how it runs, I could have probably learned in a week. And I'm sure that goes for a lot of retail positions. I'm good at the job because I'm conditioned for it now. I can lift extraordinary amounts. I can lift, thousands of pounds every day. Obviously not at once. I'm not fucking, I'm not some kind of strong man. But I mean, I'm bodily conditioned for it. I can fucking, I can do this, I can do that. I can fucking reorganize a cooler. I can fucking, make a seasonal aisle. It's all fucking pretty easy for me now. I mean, obviously now I'm struggling a little bit more than before I had Wilson's, but retail, it's more instinctual. You either have it or you don't. So fucking fortunately, I have it, so I'm pretty decent at the job. But it's not retail. Isn't really. There's no real book aspect to it. Book smarts. So fucking, it's all the promotions are really, it's all, sometimes it feels like, it's fucking who you know, you know. So I'm not really a chatty, like, oh, let me get that for you. Oh, how you doing, boss? How you doing? Fucking, how are the wife and kids? Like, fucking, let's hang out. Let's fucking, let's wear the Walgreens shirt around fucking town and do this shit. So I'm not really one of those people. So fucking sometimes I feel like promotions just fucking sail right by me. And obviously that's how people tell me. They're like, fucking dude, you gotta be a fucking political player. And I'm not fucking, I don't do well at politics. Because I'm not well at politics in my personal life either. I don't fucking make good small talk. I don't fucking, I don't inquire how people's kids are. It's just like, I'm sure if something was wrong with one of your kids, you'd probably tell me if you needed the time off. Like I've told people, I'm like, fucking, if you need time off or something, just tell me and I'll fucking cover your shifts. But on a daily basis, I'm not just like, how's your mom? How are the kids? Fucking, how's this? I mean, because most of the time it's just, I don't have that much time. If I'm just fucking standing there with somebody, maybe waiting like fucking to unload a truck that's 20 minutes late, I'll talk to somebody about that shit. But unfortunately in retail, most of the time you don't have that fucking time. So, I mean, I'm not a chatty person to begin with anyways, but I mean, I understand this is going a little bit beside the point, but or off topic, but I'm guessing that by now you understand that fucking I don't like when training is lorded over me. Whether it's to, fucking keep me in my place, give me incentive to stick with the company, whatever the fucking reason for it, fucking show me what you got and fucking let me be the best employee that I can be, now, so that maybe that we can run a better store. That's what it is to me. It's all about fucking running a better store. But unfortunately, like I said, in retail, sometimes, fucking, we all want to make the most money that we can because in this society, fucking, that's how you survive in a capitalist society. Money brings comfort, like I've obviously said numerous times. I mean, fucking, they're gonna be the naysayer, oh, money doesn't buy happiness, but fucking, to me, money brings comfort, It doesn't buy straight happiness. Fucking, there's no like happiness for sale where I just give it money and then I fucking inject happiness into my veins. But you know, money buys fucking a nicer mattress. You know, if I get paid more, maybe I can work less hours. I'm not as tired. I get to do more shit. You know, I get to buy better food. You know, shit like that. So fucking, it does bring comfort. So obviously we want to make the most money that we want, and fucking, you know, the fact that retail is cutthroat in promotions and fucking managers don't, you know, promote people based on ability. They promote them based on fucking, on, you know, who they like. So sometimes it feels like you need to do whatever the fuck you can to stay like better than other people, just so they'll, maybe they, if they do decide to actually take, you know, fucking, you know, ability into account, that you'll be that little bit better. You'll be a little bit better than the other guy and you'll get that promotion. I mean, fucking, you got to do whatever you can in retail to get fucking promoted, and that's why it's fucking cutthroat as hell. And it's fucking, you know, obviously we're all, you know, there's nobody putting hits on to get fucking, you know, fucking promotions in retail because the promotions are not that great. But I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people that are stuck in retail, you know, promotions are a big deal to them. And fucking, you know, I remember one time, um, there there were these two people that were kind of walking around to other stores, and they were doing some like fucking some tasks that they had to do, and they were introducing themselves as from the district office, and then fucking one of the other employees came up to me and was like, I've seen those two in a different store. They work in that store. They're just fucking introducing themselves as from, they, you know, got a task to do from the district office, and they're introducing themselves as people from the district office because they fucking, they want, you know, they want it so bad. They want that respect and they want that shit so bad, you know, that they're actually legitimately like, well, straight up lying about it and just fucking overselling themselves because they fucking, to them it's such a big deal. And you know, another big deal is fucking, that I never thought was a big deal, is holding keys at work. I mean, obviously keys fucking open the store, they open the lock boxes and shit like that at work, you know, and all the products that have to be locked up and all the doors and shit. And people want them bad. I mean, people like really, really want them, and they want to hold on to them. And my philosophy has always been like, dude, I ain't fucking holding keys until you pay me for the extra work. So fucking, I don't want to hold keys to open the door because then I know I'm gonna get fucking blown up and like 6:30 in the morning. Somebody's gonna be like, yo, my car won't start. Can you open that shit up? Or I'm gonna get fucking paged to cosmetics and somebody's like, yo, fucking, I can't find this cat. Use your keys to open up this box for me. So it's just like, dude, so people were legit like, hey, here are the fucking the keys for cosmetics. I know you're working in photo, but if you hold these, you can fucking, you know, you want to hold these and do some like, you can open up the cosmetics things. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm all set. I'm all set because I don't want to get fucking, I don't want to have to cover photo and cosmetics if you decide to fucking take an extra lunch or something like that. So it was just like, fucking, no thanks, dude. It was like, fucking, until I'm getting paid to legitimately do that extra work, I don't want those fucking keys. But other people, they want the fucking keys, dude. I mean, obviously, they're probably not trying to cover two sections with them, but for some reason, keys make people feel powerful. You know, they make people feel like fucking, you know, they're a big player in the company, in the store. And, you know, I'm waiting until I can afford not to be a big player in the store. You know, I wouldn't mind fucking sitting back in that office or maybe just sitting on the register, just fucking take your shit and go. Yo, when's my lunch? When's my next 15? Fucking sitting there with a fucking big gulp, just like, you're like a fucking Slurpee in the summertime, just like fucking, how you doing? Fucking $8.95. I'm waiting for that shit. I'm waiting until I can afford to be just that fucking dude who just fucking rolls in and just fucking bangs a register. But people want to they want to get as far away from that as they can. I mean, if they fucking legitimately, like, did the work that the other positions entailed, I'd be like, all right, dude, you just want to be fucking a big time player. I understand that shit. But it's just like, it's the small symbolism that they want. They want the title, they want the keys, and they want the respect. But when it comes to the work, it's just like, whoa, now, fucking, it's just like, whoa, like, I want the benefits, but I don't want the fucking, I don't want the detriments. In which I understood that when the benefits and the detriments aren't, they go fucking hand in hand. So that's why I refused the keys. I didn't refuse the keys because I was being a bitch and just like, that work is too tough for me. I understood that once I got the benefits of the keys, the fucking detriments were fucking fast on those heels. And people fucking were getting set to put those detriments on me, and I could see it, and like the fucking whites of people's eyes, just like as soon as this motherfucker takes these keys, he's getting all this fucking extra work. And so I was just like, nah, bro, nah, not until that paycheck increases. But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much why I refused it. But I mean, this is obviously getting beside. This is fucking starting to go off the rails. Nothing, but yeah. I mean, fucking, like I've stated numerous times before. Every time I try and get back on topic, fucking, if you're in a managerial position, if I were in a managerial position looking to promote somebody, let's say I was fucking store manager and I was looking at a lot of shift leads and trying to see who would promote. I would look at the person who's trained his whole team to work like fucking a well-oiled machine, rather than even if they don't know as much as somebody who's fucking kept everybody else in the dark, but who knows a little bit more. I mean, the person who's trained his people is obviously a better team player. They're fucking, they're willing to take the more risks because they're willing to, train their team to be fucking, as good as can be. So that they're a better manager and they're more efficient. You know, Obviously, if you look at how the store runs when they're here, obviously more shit's gonna get done because it doesn't. When it's a well-oiled machine, everybody does everything. It works very smoothly. Whereas when one person does all the higher up stuff, there's gonna be like fucking people here with one person here, and there's gonna be a bottleneck because everybody has to push all that work to the higher up person. So it's just fucking the tree that goes, fucking the low people push it up to the shift leads, and the shift leads all try and push, whatever they have to that higher person, and that creates a bottleneck because that one person is the only person who can fucking do that shit. Whereas if everybody knows as much as they can, then maybe that higher person will have to do, you know, the stuff that is required of him to do. But then hopefully he's, trained his lower people well enough that they can do a lot of the stuff, that he doesn't specifically have to do. Whereas the guy that's kept everybody in the dark, fucking, he's gonna get slammed and he's gonna fucking shit himself when he gets fucking overloaded. And then obviously he's gonna complain that his fucking lower people don't know, fucking, they don't know how to do anything. They're fucking not good, which I have heard and seen done before, and that shit gets me fucking heated. When you fucking don't show your people shit and then you start complaining that they don't know shit, that's fucking terrible, and that's fucking totally your fault, and fucking only idiots do that shit. And unfortunately, you see a lot of stupid shit in retail, and stupid, like, common sense stuff. And unfortunately, it's fucking, a lot of people get away with it because fucking the people that do the promotions, most of the time, obviously the shift leads, they get promoted by people in the store, but the people that go for the higher positions, they get promoted by people that aren't in the store. So it's like fucking, it's like a general in Afghanistan, getting promoted by somebody in Washington. It's like that motherfucker ain't over here in Afghanistan, so how the fuck does he know who to promote? It's just like they look at the numbers, maybe fucking one general has completed, 20 missions, whereas the only one's completed 15. So they're going to be like, all right, dude, we'll promote the general that's completed 20 missions. But they don't know that fucking maybe they, on the ground, maybe in those missions, they fucking said fuck the troops and they almost killed half of them, on four different occasions. It's just that they're not on the ground and they're not fucking, they're not in the trenches. I mean, obviously, I compare compare retail to military a bit too much, but so fucking. I mean, I think that if store managers were the ones that did all the promoting, I think they would be able to see. They would make a better choice as to who to promote, and they would promote better team players than when fucking people in an office somewhere promote people in a store because all they can do is look at the numbers. I mean, unfortunately, that's the way the game is. I mean, I wish the game wasn't like that, but you can't get a feel for somebody. You can't get a feel for how somebody's really working when you look at fucking the numbers. I mean, you can tell that they fucking, for whatever reason, they sell more maybe, but you don't know how that's done. Maybe they fucking threatened to fire somebody if they fucking didn't, if somebody didn't sell 10 candy bars per shift, and maybe the person's so freaked out they're buying fucking 8 of them now. So you fucking don't know, and it fucking sucks. But I mean, retail is obviously not an ideal situation. So fucking, I mean, unfortunately, retail it's designed to be a stepping stone. It should be a fucking stepping stone. But unfortunately, there are people like me who get fucking caught in the quicksand and who are there for a longer time than should be. I mean, I'm not saying that it's fucking there are bad people there. I'm not saying there are dumb people there. There are a lot of really smart people there. But fucking the way it's designed, the way it burns you out, it should just be a stepping stone. But I mean, like I've said, a lot of us are fucking trapped in there. I mean, I'm not gonna blame anybody. I'm not gonna blame the company I work for. I'm not gonna blame fucking, the world. I'm not gonna blame God. I'm not gonna blame fucking customers. It's just the way that life turned out. So fucking, for whatever reason, I'm in there, and fucking, it's just the way it feels. It doesn't feel. It's not. It's not a career. It doesn't feel like a career. You know, and fucking, that's why you shouldn't treat it like a career. But unfortunately, a lot of us have to, and that's why a lot of us need those promotions, and we seek those promotions. But I don't believe in seniority either. So I mean, I guess promoting somebody in retail is difficult because seniority, just because some fucking dude's been there the longest, maybe he's just a shitty person, like a shitty employee. I mean, there have been people that are just fucking ringing at a register for 20 years, unfortunately. And does that mean that they automatically get promoted just because they've been there the longest? I mean, maybe they've been that cashier for 20 years because they fucking suck at everything else. But then again, you don't want the new person who hasn't established himself to get promoted either, because then it just feels like fucking favoritism. So it's like you have to fucking find a way to figure out, who actually deserves the promotion. And that should be done by, talking to the store manager, talking to fellow employees in the stores and shit like that. But unfortunately, I think a lot of, people in, the higher offices think that's a little bit beneath them. And a lot of times they have fucking, 40 stores to deal with, and it's just like, dude, I need to promote one assistant manager for each store. I don't have enough time to go through 40 stores and fucking be like, yo, who's good? Who's good? Who's good? Who's good? Who's good? Who's good? And so it's just like, yo, I'm just gonna fucking gloss over these numbers for each store real quick and just bang out somebody and just fucking pick somebody. So I mean, there's no real win situation. I mean, obviously, it fucking sucks when some kiss up, fucking who sucks at the job, gets promoted over everybody else just because he fucking kisses up, and maybe he fucking sells a couple more candy bars than fucking other people do. So, I mean, that obviously fucking sucks. But, I understand why it's difficult at the district office to promote too. So, I mean, there's no real way that it can be done. I mean, unless it's done at the store level. But, even at the store level, there would probably be problems because the store manager would probably be pick, maybe his closest buddies in there, maybe not people that deserve it, but maybe people that he feels like, you know, are yes men to what he says and shit like that. I feel like I'm really good at my job and I'm looking for a promotion, but I'm definitely not a yes man. I feel like I fucking do what needs to be done and I'm efficient, but I don't fucking, whatever you say, okay, yeah, whatever you say, whatever you need, boss, whatever you need. I don't do that shit. And maybe that's why I fucking can't get promoted. I'm like fucking, I'm like the dude who's like, the low CIA agent who fucking gets the job done and fucking, accomplishes the mission, but nobody fucking wants to promote or to like leader or, wants to bring him into the hierarchy. And unfortunately, that sucks for me pretty much. Because I get along really well with the people in the store, but when it comes to fucking chatting about me and mentioning me for promotion, I don't think many people do it. But I mean that's a different topic, and fucking I'll get into that. But basically back to the point. I guess my total point is fucking don't lord training over me. If I fucking realize you're doing it, I might not show it, but I'm going to be pretty fucking heated. And yeah, I mean, if you're ever in a position of if you're in a position of leadership or a position of managership, treat your people like you want them to become the best that they can. Fucking don't hold shit over them. Don't fucking coddle them. Don't fucking, don't treat them like babies. Let them reach maximum potential. If you feel like they have to be treated like babies, then maybe they're not good people to begin with. If they have to be coddled or fucking they don't do good work, then fucking leave those people behind. They'll probably eventually get fired or they'll quit or they'll stay in one fucking easy ass position the rest of their lives. Fucking. I can't remember what it was, but fucking somebody kept telling me together and we'll get to the top, and like he was talking about like fucking I'll get promoted and then I'll bring the people that help me get promoted up high. Fucking like I'll get promoted to assistant manager and then I'll bring fucking the service clerks to shift leads, and then maybe I'll get store manager eventually, and then I'll bring them up to assistant managers. And it was called like Together to the Top or something like that. And fucking that's obviously not always the case, as fucking the promotions don't always work out that way. But I mean, if I ever get promoted and then there's somebody that needs to get promoted in my store, I will fucking, I will pick, somebody that worked the hardest for me and fucking that I feel like deserves the position. I'm not gonna fucking be like, yeah, fuck you guys now that I get promoted. I'm gonna pick fucking this dude over here because this dude fucking brings in cupcakes on Wednesday and fucking those shits are scrumptious. That's not my personality, and I don't think that should be fucking the personality of any fucking leader or any manager that's in charge of promoting. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. This was probably a lot longer than people than I thought it would be, because I took some segues and shit like that. But anyways, thanks for listening. If you want to talk to me, how you can get in touch with me. Thanks.